4B Corporation to order. Any public comments? All right, we'll close the public comments. And minutes, we'll now move on to consideration of an action of the minutes of both the November 20th, 2024 Sugarland 4B Corporation meeting and the December 18th, 2024 Sugarland Development Corporation and Sugarland 4B Corporation joint meeting. Does anyone have any comments, corrections on the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Now we'll move on to item 4, receive training related to the Sugarland Code of Ethical Conduct and state laws regulating ethics and reporting responsibilities of city officials. Meredith Reed will take us through it.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, Meredith Reedy, city attorney. Several of you have already seen this presentation. Feel free to sing along or whatever you feel like doing. You are required to do this annually, so I'll see you again in a year after tonight. So you're probably wondering what's this year's game. This year we're playing the game of ethics. It's an ethics presentation, so all images are property of Hasbro. So we've got 3 objectives here today that we're going to work on. We're going to get an overview as required by the Code of Conduct, and you are going to successfully serve your terms with no violations. So let's meet the contestants. Who gets to play the game today? Members of City Council always get to play. Members of Administrative Advisory Boards always get to play, which includes you as 4B. And every once in a while, we invite former members to come and play, and we have one provision for the candidates. We'll just let them get their foot wet and try to play it just a little bit. So we have 8 major rules of this game. We'll go through all of them, and there will be a little bit of fun at the end. So most important thing is the conflict of interest special economic benefit. This is chapter 176 of the local government code. And a business entity, special interest in a business entity would mean that you, your spouse, your children, your parents, your aunts and uncles, and your niece and nephews, 1st degree, 3rd degree, have 10% or $15,000 or more fair market value representation of that business entity, or 10% of your financial for the year. So if you get 10% or more of your annual funds, you have a substantial interest in that business entity. Real property, let's just keep in mind the rule of 2.5. If you happen to own $200 or more fair market value of that real property, whether it be the property the business is sitting on, or the property if they're coming up in front of you for some sort of agreement, you have a conflict of interest. And you're probably saying, now that I've determined I have a substantial interest in this business entity, what do I need to do? Congratulations, we have a special form for you to fill out. You fill it out, file at the city clerk's office, and we're going to go ahead and ask you that you abstain from that. Our state law requires that as well. And because we are home to the Houston Astros, we will ask that you leave the room. I know none of you all are players, and I know it's just a rumor, but there has been some suggestions that they were throwing signs. We are better than that. I know you won't be doing that, but just so you don't make social media, you step out of here. So as we go through these rules and requirements, you're going to find out that they don't always apply to you on this board. I don't know which one of you may have higher aspirations and want to serve for city council. You have some of them in the room. They're fine folks. You might want to spend some Tuesday evenings with them. So I am going to go over all the rules as they apply so that if you do have future aspirations, you know it's coming up. Or if you see a violation, you are able to file a complaint, and I'll explain to you how you do that. So continuing on with our 171, 176 requirements, relationship with the vendor. You get to tell us who you are related to. This is fantastic. It's almost as good as gifts. So if you have an item on the agenda that's someone that you're related to, not necessarily a business entity, but a relative, if they receive taxable income of $2,500 in the past year and you're related with them 2nd degree, 3rd degree, I have a beautiful chart that will explain that. I can't do it off the top of my head, but basically if you invite them to holiday dinner, most likely you're going to need to disclose this. So gifts, this is that kind of year, that time of year. I have never been bribed. I've been trying for the last 25 plus years. I don't know if anybody else has. Good luck to you. I call them gifts. State law calls them gifts. Fine folks in Fort Bend County, the district attorney's office, call them bribes. So let's go over this. You'll see there's 4 items: lodging, transportation, entertainment. So if you get the opportunity to be given a hotel room, a bed and breakfast, a little sleeper train on a plane or a train, or that sort of thing, transportation, airline, you want to go somewhere and eat, someone gives you those tickets to the World Series, you get to fill out a form and file it with the city clerk's office disclosing those. And food as well. You'll get to see those little asterisks. So it's $100 per category per vendor within a rolling 12-month period. Item 4, food has an asterisk. If you have the misfortune of having to sit across the table from that vendor, where you actually have to talk to them while you're trying to enjoy your meal, you get up to $500. So go ahead and order that dessert, extra appetizer, get the meal to go. You've earned it. Too fast. Additional rules. We have 5 additional rules. So doing business with the city for our fine folks on city council, they are able to enter into one, right, and a substantial contract with the city the entire duration of their term. So if they're a one-term person, they get 3 years to spread it out, or up to 9 years to spread it out. But they cannot have greater than $1,000 in a contract with the city. So there's that one. Representations and appearances. I usually bring a hat down here because I think I might borrow yours. But it's fun to take a hat on and off. So basically you have to say what hat you're wearing. So if you're posting on social media or letter to the editor, I don't know if people still do that. You have to say which hat you're wearing. So in my capacity as a resident of Sugar Land, or in my capacity as a 4B city council member, I believe blah, blah, blah. It's very important. We actually have this come up a few times. And it's more important for like a P&Z Animal Advisory Board, because they have to know whether or not you're speaking in your capacity representing the city or in your capacity as their neighbor. Representation. So for 1 year after your term ends, you cannot come in front of this board and represent an interest for somebody if you get paid. If you want to donate your time, have at it. We don't care. We just ask that you don't go and make money off of that one. Misuse and disclosure of official information. So you guys receive a lot of wonderful information. You have executive sessions. You learn about private finances and everything else of different businesses as you work through incentives. In the extremely unlikely event that you also get sued, you're gonna have a nice conversation with me back in the council dining room, and I will also give you confidential information. We are asking that you do not disclose any of that information, whether it be related to that or related to lawsuits. Additionally, you can't use that information for your personal benefit. So if an item comes up, don't go buy the property next door going, ha ha, tomorrow it's going to be double in worth. Can't do that. Participating in procurement. If you do want to participate with city council, want to do your nice 3-year term, we ask that you do not participate in any contract negotiations with the vendor outside. Don't give them any additional information related to the contract. If we determine that you have, we disqualify that vendor. Makes them very unhappy with us, makes them very unhappy with you, and that city council member is subject to sanctions. And campaign contributions. This is where we invite the future council members to come play with us as well. You cannot receive campaign donations from anyone who is suing the city for a settlement excluding attorney's fees or damages exceeding $25,000. So if those campaign finance reports come in and we see that, we will ask you to return the money, because you cannot buy a lawsuit from the city. You cannot buy a settlement from us, and we don't want there to be any confusion or any belief that that has in fact occurred. So I could do this in my sleep, so I went really, really fast. If you can't sleep tonight and you want to read a full version of these wonderful rules, it's chapter 2 of the Code of Ordinances, and I tell you, it was very well drafted. It's very riveting. If you have questions related to it, you can always ask me. It's like my favorite topic. And I also can give you what's called a get out of jail free card. So if an item is coming up on the agenda and you go, whew, I wonder if there's a concern here, or if somebody is inviting you to dinner and saying, hey, I've got some World Series tickets, first class, you want to come ride on my airplane, you can always send me an email or call me and say, these are the facts. I will then respond back to you in writing. So you have this magic little piece of paper and says, based on the facts that you have provided, this is what I believe your obligations are under the Code of Conduct. And if you don't follow them, this is what I believe the Ethics Commission will do. So if someone then subsequently files a complaint against you, you go, ha, I've got to get out of jail free card. The Ethics Commission goes, you know what? You do. Good for you. Meredith, you screwed up. You're off the hook. I'm in the hot seat. So if you ever have questions, please send them to me. It is my goal not to have any complaints and to keep you all ethical. I believe that was the 3rd bullet on the very first slide. So if someone doesn't follow the rules, what do you have to do, or what can you do? You will be filing a written complaint, must be signed and sworn, must state the item in the Code of Ethics that you believe has been violated, the person who may have made the violation, and any information you may have. It must be within 1 year of the violation being occurred, or 1 year of you finding it. You file it with the city clerk's office. She will review it, and then she sends it to me. And I look at it and go, yep, signed and sworn. Yep, this person is subject to the code. This is a violation under the code. It's within 1 year. If all those are met, I forward it to the city Independent Ethics Review Board, and they look at it. They look at it from the first review. If everything in this document is correct, would this be a violation? If yes, then they move forward and make a finding of fact on a public hearing to determine if those facts are in fact accurate, and then they will enter sanctions. And you say, what could these sanctions be? Here they are, 1 through 7. Letter of notification, basically shaking your finger at each other. And number 6 and 7, removal. You will see that number 7 is a recommendation of recall, because if you're voted in, you must be voted out. We cannot just give away your seat. So that was fast. Before we play, do you have any questions? Just laughing because you've already seen this. All right, so let's spin our little thing and let's start playing. So to increase the revenue and promote tourism within the city, a council member has suggested the city install kayak-friendly boat ramps at the Brazos River turnaround and at Oyster Creek near Constellation Field. Does it matter that this council member's daughter owns a rent by the hour inflatable kayak company? Where y'all participate? Yes, it matters.
I don't know, but I'd ask. I don't know, but I'd ask.
Yes, definitely. And it's a conflict because somebody within the first degree of consanguinity, third of affinity, has a substantial business interest on that item. So because this council member is always a very supportive parent, he starts making a few phone calls using his position of power and gets this boat ramp idea placed on the very next Parks Board agenda because he wants a review and positive feedback. Do we have any concerns? He used this position and an opportunity to advance his own personal business. Okay, so the Parks Department thought this was the greatest idea they've ever thought about, enthusiastically endorsed the prospect of the boat ramp, and think, you know what? Food truck. That will just put this over the top. We need food trucks. So they went ahead and made their endorsement for that, and the item has now moved on to P&Z. P&Z needs to do a little bit of rezoning, have to put a little food truck regulations in there. And as the idea is being presented at P&Z, a commissioner pulls out their phone, which, by the way, you shouldn't be on your phone during a meeting, but that's not an ethics violation. It's just a protocol. And the P&Z member texts their spouse and says, you know that food truck we're about to buy? Get it. This is our opportunity. This is what we're going to do. Do we have violations yet?
Yeah.
What's the violation?
It's again, a family relation, close.
Food truck?
Using inside information.
Inside information.
Cute, nice, but it's not inside information because it's occurring in a public meeting. So it's only inside information if you have the information in a confidential setting and nobody else does. That was a trick question. But yes, it was mentioned publicly in a Parks Board meeting and then again in P&Z, it's public information. Kayla needs something. So obviously we're all thinking that this boat ramp is a fantastic idea. And now it's in front of you guys. So you would love this council member who also happens to be sitting on 4B, what luck. And you want to offer some incentives because this is the best idea you have ever seen. And this is going to put the city on an even bigger spot on the map. So you all agree every incentive we possibly can give because we want them there. So we are going to cover all of their costs. Uh-oh, okay. Somebody needs it with Kayla. So ignoring all limitations on state law, both of these boards have given her the clear green light, all the money she can possibly imagine. Do we have any violations? Remembering that the parent sits on both boards and awarded this.
Because it depends if they excluded themselves and declared.
You studied ahead, didn't you?
No, just.
Response. It's a violation if that council member sat in the room and voted, but if they abstained, left the room through no magical signs, might have cured his mistakes. So now that the financing is secured, Parks Board's endorsement in place, the city council then votes to give the daughter the exclusive license to operate the boat ramp. So now I'm guessing based on your answer to the last slide, same thing here. If they abstained and walked out, they're cool. If not, got a conflict, right? Okay. So first 6 months of operation goes fantastic. We are making money left, right, exceeded expectations at food truck. Great idea. Parks right on the money for that. Unfortunately, Labor Day weekend, a kayaker got bit by an alligator. Now, this injured kayaker sued the inflatable kayak company, recognizing they have no money. They went ahead, threw the city under the bus as well, and added our name to that lawsuit. As a result, we go to that council dining room and have a little conversation related to how we're going to resolve this, what our payout for damages might be. What does that council member need to do at that time?
Exclude them, declare and exclude themselves.
Excuse himself.
Right. Perfect. City council then settles the lawsuit, revokes the license, and opens the boat ramps to anybody who wants to bring their own kayak, canoe, whatever they want, and hop in. It's a free for all. So there's now a local resident and business owner is pretty mad about this, files a complaint because he wanted to compete for this license. So we are now back in the cycle of having a conversation with city council. At that point in time, the council member will not need to recuse himself because it's actually a different situation. So we are now on the very last square of our game, day of reckoning. So we agree that the only person throughout this who has a violation is that council member. That nobody else had a violation because the food trucks were publicly disclosed. And I think that was the only issues. So we agree that the council member is the only problem. You think anybody else made a mistake along the way that should be in front of the ethics board? Just that council member. So they have been pulled in front of the ethics board for conflict of interest because they made the recommendation at the beginning. And if they participated and because they called the parks board liaison to get on the agenda, and if they had voted on the various agreements as they went through, including the license, they would have a pretty substantial conflict of interest. And so they would sustain all of those. In talking with the Independent Ethics Review Board, if this council member had not abstained and left the room, they would recommend a recall. So they take these things pretty seriously. Had they just done the first few violations where they made the recommendation, pushed their daughter's business and got on the parks thing, they would not recommend a recall, but they would recommend a pretty serious sanction. So do you have any questions? Congratulations, you don't have to play again for a whole nother year.
We apply these to Washington DC at the same limits. All right, thank you. All right, we'll move on to item 4, consideration of an action on authorization of a contract with Lou Hammond Group in the amount of $40,000 for fiscal year 2025 public relations services for a total contract amount of $120,000, utilizing $40,000 of the Sugarland Development corporate funds and $40,000 from the hotel occupancy tax. Jordan.
Good evening, everyone. We did a workshop with you all in regard to the Sugarland public relations project that we will be rolling out this year. So this is just again to approve that contract and give you a recap of what that scope is. So we issued an RFP back in September for a new PR firm. Previously, we were contracted with a firm who handled both marketing and PR. So this scope would just include public relations. We issued that RFP with 2 goals. One, to redefine the scope once again to solely be public relations focused. And then for goal number 2, to receive competitive bids through that process and decrease that bidder cost. With goal number 1, we wanted to create a unified voice and message. So previously, the scope included just business development and redevelopment. And with this scope, we looped in tourism so that we could integrate those narratives and really focus to pitching media about Sugarland's projects with one voice for all 3 divisions. And again, we reduced the scope to eliminate advertising, digital marketing, and social media, and just solely be focused on public relations. So as we talk about scope, again, this is kind of what we recapped in our workshop, the various kind of buckets that fall under marketing and PR. So digital marketing and advertising include website, email marketing, social media, SEO and SEM, which is keywords in relation to our website, digital advertising and out of home, which includes banners, billboards, things of that nature. All of those will be moving in-house and we will manage those internally. And then again, we will focus on externally using a firm to handle our media pitching, integrating Sugarland into thought leadership with media and hosting fam tours for media as they come to Sugarland to talk about the different projects and itineraries that we'd like to build. So as we talked about relating, decreasing the budget for that vendor, we received 6 bids through the RFP process. We maxed out our RFP budget at $140,000. Again, for reference, the previous firm that handled both PR and marketing was $257,000. Through that process, our team evaluated Lou Hammond as the firm of choice. They are based in Charleston, South Carolina, and have a great experience managing a wide variety of clients that range from tourism clients to economic development clients and redevelopment. Some of those clients include Visit Baton Rouge and Baton Rouge Area Chamber of Commerce. So again, kind of that duality of tourism and business development, redevelopment. Explore Charleston, next and a variety of other ones. Their contract amount came in at 120,000, so 20,000 under what our RFP max budget was. And with that, we are looking at splitting it 3 ways. So 40,000 for HOT, 40,000 for SL4B individually. And so this contract will include, once again, just public relations. So focusing on developing a PR strategy and messaging, hosting and executing mission and fam tours, integrating Sugarland into thought leadership as it relates to the different projects in relation to development and business development and things of that nature, as well as recommending and pitching Sugarland as the top places for awards and accolades. So best places to live, best places to work, travel and leisure to world's best awards and things of that. And then also focusing on regional and national media. We have a good handle on our local media. And so we really wanted to prioritize growing our regional and national media attention. And so they have a wide variety of expertise in that area. This is just a more detailed outline of their scope. Again, it includes the things that I just mentioned in regard to media relations, fam tours, awards, stakeholder engagement, partnerships and things of that. And so this is kind of what our roadmap will be as we work with them throughout this year. But with that, are there any questions that I can answer in regard to it?
I have a question.
Absolutely.
First of all, thank you, because this is what I think we should have done all along, and I'm looking forward to seeing this as we have more hands-on.
Yes.
And the hands-on component is what I have a question about, because we're bringing this in-house. So that component that we're bringing in-house, what are they going to be doing exactly, and what's our budget for that?
So let me go back to the slide really quick.
Yes, that one.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, so digital marketing, so website, so we will be managing our website internally, which means any blogs or updates in regard to that. We will manage in-house. Before the firm was creating blogs, updating it, and essentially managing the site for us. So all of that will move in-house. Social media, we have a LinkedIn platform that focuses on economic development and redevelopment projects. We will manage that internally with the team that we have. Email marketing, the newsletters that we send out to our stakeholders and partners, that will be done internally. SEO and SEM, we will use a firm to handle that, just because that's an active vendor process in regard to like pitching and keywords for that. I believe we contracted that one out, or we are planning to contract that one out for, I think, $35,000. So again, really under budget in regard to the scope of the full contract. And then digital advertising and out-of-home, those will be done on basis as we identify strategic opportunities to do that. So if there are any partnerships or advertising opportunities, we'll analyze and kind of evaluate those on an as they come basis.
Do you see us adding on staff specifically for that purpose? Is our hope to have a department or someone on staff looking at this full time?
We're currently doing it with the marketing team that we have in place right now. We have talked about potentially bringing on new staff for that, but if so, it would still kind of be in line with other projects that we have across all 3 divisions.
Wonderful, thank you.
I appreciate the efficiency look too. I mean, you're bringing in things that you're more capable of, cutting erroneous cost and then outsourcing what would take you a lot of work to do.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Any other comments? A motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Thank you. All right. John, lead us on.
Howdy, SL4B Board of Directors. To be a little more efficient with our time, I have a presentation for all of the upcoming public hearings that we have on the agenda. I'll run through this presentation, going over all of the resolutions that you'll be approving, and at the end of this presentation, we'll go through the public hearing and approval of those resolutions. We have one recusal happening right now, and then I'll get started. Thank you. So today we have 5 resolutions for your approval under the SL4B's Fostering Unique Neighborhoods Grant Program. As a reminder, this is all about capital projects, right? Empowering our neighborhood groups, our neighborhoods, HOAs to complete trailblazing capital projects that improve the quality of life in our community. And through these types of projects, over a long period of time, this is what makes Sugarland beautiful and helps attract workforce and new young families to want to live here, and it enhances the quality of life for our current citizens too. You at the SL4B board gave us direction to bring all 5 of these applications forward to the January meeting today for approval. The program budget for the program is $300,000. The total requested for all of these applications, these 5 projects, is $331,162.69. And so by approving these resolutions, you as the board are also authorizing the use of the reserve for opportunities to cover the difference between that 331K and the 300,000. And that's these 5 projects encompass a total project cost of about 1.1 million. So really great stuff. Here's a list of the projects in a table. The previous blocking that, but it's the total amount requested from the 4B is about 331K. And so I'll go over the 5 projects real quickly before the funding resolutions, excuse me. The first project is from the Community Association of the Highlands, who wants to complete a rehabilitation of the Williams Trace Community Park. This includes the removal of current play structure and borders and an installation of several new play structures with a shade, swing set, spring riders, merry-go-round, and a little free library. So some new features there. The project cost here is about 148,000, and requested from the SL4B is 74,219.25 cents. Here are some images of the proposed improvements and the shade structure. This is located on Williams Trace Boulevard. And so staff recommends holding a public hearing and approving the resolution SL4B R2420, approving SL4B funding for the Community Association of the Highlands Fund Grant Project as part of this program. Next, we have Sugar Creek Homes Association. Their proposed project is median walkways on Country Club Boulevard. The 4-foot wide crushed granite path with irrigation and landscaping as well. The total project cost here is approximately 73K. Requested from the 4B is 36,939.85 cents. This is located on Country Club Boulevard, and this is phase 2 of the walkway project. And so staff recommends holding a public hearing and approving resolution number SL4B R2421, approving funding for this project. Third, we have Settlers Park HOA. This is the name of this project is Brick Wall Section 2 in Settlers Way Boulevard between Greenfield Drive and Austin Parkway. I was informed I actually made a mistake when I was presenting this to y'all during the workshop. They actually don't at this point of time, and to my best knowledge, they don't have to get any consents to encroach from any homeowners to complete this wall project. We reviewed the survey this week and we spoke with them on the phone, and I'll include I have a picture here and the next slide on the on that with an example of that survey, but there was located strictly on a center point easement, so they would just have to get a consent to build their wall from those utility companies. So the total project cost here is about 173K, and requested from the 4B is $70,004.58, and this is only reimbursing any new expenses related to this project. For this brick wall. This is located on Settlers Way Boulevard between Austin Parkway and Greenfields Drive. And here's the survey image I talked about. So you can see the fence right here, and it's located in the easement, and the property line is here. So they actually don't have to get 11 or 12 consents to encroach at this time. So staff recommends holding a public hearing and approving resolution number SL4B R2422 for this project. Fourth, we have New Territory Residential Community Associations project for the Grand Parkway Monument renovation. The total project cost here is $442,750, which includes costs to the demolition of the current structure, basin adjustment, retaining wall, veneer, tower feature, lettering, signage, lighting, electrical, and a monument water feature. Requested from the SL4B is $75,000. This is located on the Grand Parkway. And staff recommends holding a public hearing and approving resolution number SL4B R2423, approving funding for this project. Fifth and lastly, we have Imperial Homeowners Association, which is the Imperial Roundabout renovation. The total project cost here is $215,734, which includes costs related to the renovation of the roundabout fountain at Imperial Boulevard and Stadium Drive. And so they also have a commitment from the IRD to help fund this project, and requested from the SL4B is $75,000. Staff recommends holding a public hearing and approving resolution number SL4B R2424 for this project. And with that, if happy to take any questions, or we can go into the public hearing. So
yeah, procedurally, we'll go through and we'll read the resolution and get public comments. post that, I'll close it, then I'll read the recommended or the consideration of. The board can ask any questions, comments, and then we'll vote. We'll do this on each one. Okay. All right. So on the public hearing, receive and hear all persons desire to be heard on Sugarland 4B Corporation, resolution number SL4B R24-20. Resolution of the Board of Directors of the Sugarland 4B Corporation approving a request by the city of Sugarland to fund a multi-use play structure and other related park improvements to be located in a privately owned community park located at 1910 Williams Trace Boulevard under the council policy for fostering unique neighborhoods reimbursement grant program using Sugarland 4B Corporation funds. Any public comments?
No, sir.
Okay, we'll close the public session. And we will move forward with the consideration of an action on Sugarland 4B Corporation Resolution number SL4B R-24-20. A resolution of the Board of Directors of the Sugarland 4B Corporation approving a request by the city of Sugarland to fund a multi-use play structure and other related park improvements to be located in a privately owned community park located at 1910 Williams Trace Boulevard under the council policy for fostering unique neighborhoods reimbursement grant program using Sugarland 4B corporate funds. Open the discussion.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Move on to next item. Public hearing, receive and hear all persons desiring to be heard on Sugarland 4B Corporation Resolution number SLB-R-24-21. A resolution of the Board of Directors of the Sugarland 4B Corporation approving a request by the city of Sugarland to fund medium walkways and related improvements to be located in the Country Club Boulevard right away from the 1800 block of County Club Boulevard to the 2000 block of County Club Boulevard under the council policy for fostering unique neighborhoods reimbursement grant program using Sugarland 4B corporate funds. Any public comments? Okay, we'll close the public comments. We'll do the consideration and action of Sugarland 4B corporate resolution number SL4B-R-24-21, a resolution of the Board of Directors of Sugarland 4B Corporation approving a request by the city of Sugarland to fund the median walkways and related improvements to be located in the Country Club Boulevard right away from the 1800 block of Country Club Boulevard to the 2000 block of Country Club Boulevard under the council policy for fostering unique neighborhoods reimbursement grant program using Sugarland 4B corporate funds. Any comments? Motions?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll move on. Public hearing and receive and hear all persons desiring to be heard on Sugarland 4B Corporation Resolution number SLB 4-R-24-22. A resolution of the Board of Directors of the Sugarland 4B Corporation approving a request by the city of Sugarland to fund the perimeter fencing to be located along the east side of Settlers Way Boulevard from Austin Parkway to Greenfields Drive under the council policy for fostering unique neighborhoods reimbursement grant program using Sugarland 4B corporate funds. Any public comments? We will close the public comment time. Consideration of an action on Sugarland 4B Corporation Resolution number SL4B-R-24-22. A resolution of the Board of Directors of the Sugarland 4B Corporation approving a request by the city of Sugarland to fund perimeter fencing to be located along the east side of Settlers Way Boulevard from Austin Parkway to Greenfields Drive under the council policy for fostering unique neighborhoods reimbursement grant program using Sugarland 4B corporate funds. Any questions, discussion? And motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. And we'll go on to next item. Receive and hear all persons desiring to be heard on Sugarland 4B Corporation Resolution number SL4B-R-24-23. A resolution of the Board of Directors of the Sugarland 4B Corporation approving a request by the City of Sugarland to fund monument signage in the New Territory subdivision located on a piece of property south of Ditch M, west of Sartarsha Middle School, north of the Brazos River and east of Grandway Parkway, under the Council Policy for Fostering Unique Neighborhoods Reimbursement Grant Program, using the Sugarland 4B corporate funds. Any public comments?
No.
We'll close the public comment section. Well, now with consideration of an action on Sugarland 4B Corporation Resolution number SL4B-R-24-23. A resolution of the Board of Directors of the Sugarland 4B Corporation approving the request by the City of Sugarland to fund monument signage in the New Territory subdivision located on a piece of property south of Ditch M, west of Sartarsha Middle School, north of the Brazos River and east of Grand Parkway, under the Council Policy for Fostering Unique Neighborhood Reimbursement Grant Program using Sugarland 4B corporate funds. Any discussion?
I want to make sure in case someone's just tuning into this meeting, the reason it's fluid and it's kind of going without comment is because this is not the first time we've heard these issues. They've been refined by our team. They've been presented again to our team, and we're grateful for all the work you put into this. But I can only imagine someone watching this meeting right now is going, well, they're just saying yes. They're just saying yes. This is not our first meeting about these issues, and we're grateful for the clarifying that you've done, everything from the brick walls and all the projects. Thank you. Great work.
Yeah, well done. Any others? No motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, the next item, public hearing, receive and hear all persons desiring to be heard on Sugarland 4B Corporation Resolution SLB 4B-R-24-24. A resolution of the Board of Directors of the Sugarland 4B Corporation approving a request by the City of Sugarland to fund fountain renovations located in the roundabout of the intersection of Imperial Boulevard and Stadium Drive under the Council Policy for Fostering Unique Neighborhoods Reimbursement Grant Program using Sugarland 4B corporate funds. Any public comments? We'll close the public comment hearing. We'll now go on for consideration of an action on Sugarland 4B Corporation Resolution number SL4B-R-24-24. A resolution of the Board of Directors of the Sugarland 4B Corporation approving a request by the City of Sugarland to fund fountain renovations located in the roundabout of the intersection of Imperial Boulevard and Stadium Drive under the Council Policy for Fostering Unique Neighborhoods Reimbursement Grant Program using Sugarland 4B corporate funds. Any comments?
Let's get that sucker going. Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
A lot of reading.
And now we'll move on to the Jordan with our annual report.
We'll need to get Alan back.
Yeah, can somebody grab Alan? Thank you.
Fountain, Alan. Hello again. So I'm back to talk through our annual report. So on each of y'all's tables, you will have a printed copy of the full annual report that we developed. So I had the pleasure of leading the development for this project and pulling together with the amazing work that our team did over the course of the year, all the projects and initiatives that we and our team has done throughout 2024. And so I wanted to start the presentation by letting you know you have this. You can follow along. We'll reference page numbers throughout this report. But this is just a quick overview of our highlights and achievements for the years, some of the goals that we reached throughout the report. We also highlight key initiatives and projects that we worked on from each department, give some highlights on top venues and attractions that are in Sugarland and how they performed and succeeded throughout the year.
And so I'll kick it off. And on the second page of your, or I'm sorry, third page of your report, you should see a tweet snapshot. So this page, this is the introduction to the reports that we did this year. This was the kind of new concept, but we wanted to introduce and kind of give a just overview of the whole year and all of the accomplishments that we did at a high level. So you'll see things from total revenue from rooms that we had throughout the year, capital investment projects, the number of parks in total that we have, the number of full service restaurants, jobs created, things of that nature. So I really encourage you to, as we go through this, of course, follow along, but even outside of that, review it at some point. It's a really great project, and all of the initiatives in here, our team is really, really proud of. So, with that, I'll kick it over to redevelopment, who will start with highlighting their initiatives for you.
Good afternoon, board members. So I'm here to talk to you about Lake Point. So as you know, Lake Point is one of City Council's top priorities. And this year we had a huge accomplishment in creating a new zoning district specifically for this area, which will allow for the development of a mixed use area. This is a district that was added to our development code, so it's a different approach than what we've done in the past. Throughout the year, we did some work with a potential developer because of the kind of financial realities of the market today that the land is no longer under contract. So we're no longer working with that developer as of earlier this year. We did identify some changes that we needed to make to the code as well as we were working with that developer. We've already begun making changes to the code, which is a good thing because it means it's a living document and it's not just sitting still. So with that.
The Department of Redevelopment recently concluded its second year of programming for the Great Homes programs. As a reminder, Great Homes was approved by City Council as a program to promote residential reinvestment in our city, and our city leaders identified residential reinvestment as one of the city's top strategic priorities for 2023 and 2024. In year two, the team managed a lot of home improvement projects, met with a lot of homeowners, helped a lot of residents navigate this program to complete a project, and received a reimbursement incentive as well. Also to note, we extended the application period this year in 2024 due to Hurricane Beryl causing so much damage. And we're able to help a lot of homeowners with the replacement of down fences. And even in one instance in the Hill, there was a tree that fell on a homeowner's home that we helped remove. So we're really grateful for that. I wanted to give a shout out to my team, Anna Rodriguez and Jessica Hubble. They really helped a lot of folks right after Beryl when we were getting a lot of applications. I was on paternity leave, so they really pulled the weight there. So really wanted to shout out them. And I also wanted to recognize all the homeowners that participated. Before I go into the metrics, I mean, these Sugar Land residents, these homeowners made huge investments on their home. You know, they really trusted us to follow through in our program, and they made these big investments, and they got that incentive, right? And so they're playing a big role in refreshing our neighborhoods and keeping Sugar Land a relevant and desirable place to live. And so for the metrics to conclude, in year two, so 2024 of this program, 111 projects were completed, totaling about 1.9 million in new residential improvements, with 286K distributed as incentives. And so both years 1 and 2, both years of implementation of this program, that totals to 264 home improvement projects that were completed, totaling nearly $4.2 million in new residential improvements and about 679K in incentives. So really excited about all these homeowners who are just doing the residential reinvestment in our city and promoting redevelopment. And so pass it on to Jesse.
So just a little context, because we have some new board members. So Reeves, who oversees Town Square here, has been working on a repositioning strategy for the last few years. So it started on the south end, and this is located on page 30, where they refaced some of the shopping centers, moved tenants around, redid the landscaping, tried to make it a more inviting and comfortable area for the pedestrians. And so now they're focusing on the north end, which is what they call phase 2. And it's really focusing on finishing out the landscaping on the north end of the north end of the property here, adding some more parklets and green space, recapturing some parking spots strategically to make it more walkable and inviting and a safer experience for the guest. And then focusing on an office reinvestment in office building B, which is over here where Bar Louie is.
So they're doing a $6.4 million investment in total, and they requested 3.5 million, which is going to be reimbursed back from SL4B and also SLDC. So 4A and 4B funding upon completion and approval of all the compliance items that they have. But this really marked the first major office reinvestment in Town Square since it opened in 2013, which is really imperative to stay competitive in the very challenging office market that we have right now. So just a reminder, they're gonna kind of reface the whole bottom floor. There's gonna be a food and bev element, shared meeting space, and some really exciting things that can be enjoyed by not only the office tenants, but all of the tenants within the property. It's not just exclusive to them. And so just an update on where they are, they should be issuing for permits in March, and then they'll be working on construction between May and December. They've had to relocate tenants, obviously, out of the first floor. And so it should be done about the end of the year. And then per the agreement, they have to be completed by March 2026 to be able to get that reimbursement back. So they're on schedule, and we're really excited to see how this goes, and we'll keep you guys updated. That business development.
Good afternoon. My name is Jennifer Alexander, for those who don't know me. So I'm going to touch on some of our business development highlights. In November of 2024, the SLDC approved a 3-year agreement for a plug and play tech center to locate here in Sugar Land. We have some of the highlights listed here. This in part of the agreement, there's a 60-mile non-compete radius, which means we are the Houston hub, which is really exciting. Plug and Play is currently looking at Sugar Land Town Square to locate. So we're in the process of solidifying space right now. They will accelerate 2 batches. After the batch comes through of startups where they do their pitches, we're going to get some reporting in, so we'll have some metrics there. They are looking to employ 4 full-time employees, and the launch for this will be scheduled for March 20th here at the Houston Marriott Sugar Land. So more information on that to come. But the beginning portion of the day will have the startups really pitching in front of corporates and investors, and the evening we'll have a reception. So that's very exciting for us. And then some topics for in the news. The Southwest Water relocation, the agreement actually was approved in December of 2023, but the move happened in 2024. So we wanted to highlight that. Essentially, they took over 4,000 square foot office space here in Sugar Land Town Square, which is wonderful. They brought over 100 new jobs, so that's great. So these people are working here, shopping here, and really putting their funds here in Sugar Land Town Square. So we love that. We're moving on to Fraser. This is a project that created 286 jobs. They are the leading provider for emergency vehicles. And this agreement was a 10-year agreement with a $4 million capital investment. And then lastly, we have the WISC project, which was actually led by our airport. This is really exciting for us as well. Essentially, they're air taxis. So this is thinking of like the connectivity and mobility through our city. It's changing. There's a new way to go from one place to the other. So for us, that's really positive for our local business owners and our venues to see that support coming back into the local economy. So some of the in the news topics. And we're going to pass it over back to Jordan.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give a brief recap on our meetings and conferences that we had this year. So the Marriott Sugar Land had a great year in regards to meetings and conferences over the year. They brought in $6.3 million in conferences, 290 room blocks, and 24,000 room nights, totaling in about 3.6 million in group revenue. So a strong year for those groups that came in. And of course, we're excited to see over the next year how this continues to grow. Events continues to be a huge driving force for our tourism department. We partnered with Spectrum this year to produce both Sweet Beats and Jazz Festival, which were at the Crown Festival Park. Both were 2-day music festivals that had Grammy Award-winning artists that participated. Jazz Fest was super successful, and Sweet Beats as well. Throughout those 2 festivals, we saw 8,000 tickets sold, $450,000 worth of ticket sales, and a local spend of $464,000. Again, events continues to be a huge tourism driver, and we're excited to partner with them again this year to produce those festivals. So we'll be announcing those details within the next couple of weeks. And now I'll pass it over to Amber, and she will talk about our partnership opportunity.
Hello, my name is Amber Adarte. For those who don't know me, thank you for having me. So today I'm just going to talk about the Economic Development and Tourism Department partnership with Sweetness Honey. So it's a milestone that we're very proud of. This initiative started off as a challenge, a question to create innovation and to spark creativity within the department. And we realized that the Sugar Land Regional Airport was already in partnership with Sweetness Honey with the management of the bees. They were having some bee issues. So we took that opportunity to build our own relationship with Sweetness Honey and got them to the table and asked if we could collaborate. So we ended up coming up with the Sweetness Honey Visit Sugar Land honey bottle that you see here, and you also have one at your desk. So we use those for marketing purposes. We put them in gift baskets, welcome baskets, and we also have collaborated with HEB. So if you go to your local HEBs here in the city limits, you will see this bottle on the shelves. So it's walk-in marketing. We do not pay for this marketing. It is just up there in collaboration with Sweetness Honey. They have about 400 hives producing 40 pounds of this amazing honey. We also have partnered with State Fair, and they have a mocktail on their menu that you can go ahead and go ask for. There is a recipe on our Instagram, so you can also make it at home, and it has our Visit Sugar Land honey in that. So again, this was an amazing partnership that came and started from an idea that we had, and it was a partnership that was already growing at the regional airport, and we decided to expand on that and collaborate with our other departments and with our small businesses. So just a show to say we are working on innovation, we're working on collaborating with our small businesses and having the economic growth, whether it be here or at our local stores as well. Thank you. Nicole.
Hi, my name is Nicole. I'm part of the Visit Sugar Land marketing team, and I work alongside Jordan. I'm here to talk today about our Sweet eShop, which is our online store that opened last year in response to our visitor center closing. This is the first e-commerce site for Visit Sugar Land, and it launched with the Sugar Land is 2 words campaign, where we created a variety of products that you see here, like backpacks and t-shirts, featuring all of our venues, attractions, and our rich history, like the Imperial Char House. You'll see that on the t-shirt over there. And our motto is 2 words, 1 sweet city, because it really celebrates our unique identity, and it encourages residents and visitors alike to really show their Sugar Land pride. And I encourage you to visit the site, check out all our products, including this hat, like for the rodeo. Hat. And this is on page 22, if you want more information and more details. I will also be talking about highlights about our social media this year, like our big wins. This is on page 23. Our biggest milestone is we reached 20,000 followers on Instagram. That's 66.5% growth. We gained 1,000 followers on Facebook and 352 followers on X, formerly known as Twitter. The important trend here is we've been growing throughout the year. And how did we get to that growth, and why do these numbers matter to us? We get all that growth by sharing engaging content. We're always telling people about our grand openings like Trader Joe's and Little Woodrow's, big events, our music festivals, things to do and places to go eat. And these numbers matters to us because they really create brand awareness for Visit Sugar Land about all the awesome things to do and experience in our sweet city. Thank you. And I pass it to
That's a recap of our marketing department and the cool programs that we've been able to do throughout the year. So with that, I just wanted to showcase again and remind everyone that in the back of this report, there's a QR code. I would encourage you to scan it. The digital version is much more interactive and fun to like engage with. You can go in and click the pages. Some of the pictures and things link out to videos with reviews and videos of like great homes and things of that nature. So if you'd like to do that, it's on the very last page. Again, this is we're required to put together this report annually and file it in the controller's office. So this is a recap of the year. And we encourage you to share it with your partners if you're out at meetings and you want to get some and hand them out to business partners, or if you're out and about, please just let our marketing, our EcoDev team know. We're happy to give you all some to hand them out, great resources as we talk about marketing the city and just really continuing to tell the story of Sugar Land and why we are doing so great and how we're continuing to grow as a city.
Yeah, we were talking to some people in the city yesterday and the comment we made was, it's amazing how much you do when you sit back and reflect and record everything you did the year before. And I think this is a great way to do it. It's also important for people to know and understand what's in here for talking points when you're at a cocktail party or you're at that opportunity to promote the city. If you're familiar with all these things we do, you can bring that kind of stuff up and be ambassadors for the city. Absolutely. Thanks.
Really nicely done.
May I ask a question? How do I get one of those hats?
I think she told you.
I need one today.
Negotiate.
7.5 is what I'm at.
This, actually, it's a 7.5.
That's beautiful.
Your jacket, actually. Grandpa was happy.
Oh my God.
We'll do the director's report next.
I love it. I'll
Okay.
get those amazing.
So Devin unexpectedly couldn't be here today, so I'm going to handle this for us real quick. And I'm gonna go over some of it pretty quickly because we already talked about a lot of it in the report. So the first bullet is about plug and play, which Jennifer went over. I would encourage you to please read through it in your report if you want to know more. It's much more detailed in there. And just to note, this announcement obviously garnered us a lot of media attention, HBJ, Houston Public Media, Innovation Map. And I think one of the biggest wins here that our very own Chandler was able to make sure secured was that they cannot open another location within the Houston region. So we made sure that it's here in Sugar Land and we're going to benefit, and then hopefully we'll see residuals through the region, but first should be Sugar Land. And then our very own Neon helps with our budget. For those of you who may not know, he might have had to step out. Oh, there he is. He completed his first course in economic development, finance. Planning. Professional? Planning. So he's very excited about that. Neon loves continued education, so he loves working on that stuff. And first of many that he's planning. So marketing and tourism. Alyssa, she attended Destination Southwest in the Woodlands, December 4th through 6th. She hosted 22 hand-selected one-on-one appointments with meeting planners from all over the United States. In total, there were 50 meeting planners there and 50 suppliers. So the conversations went really well, and it's basically her selling the city on our behalf as a tourism destination and trying to get those meeting planners to bring their conferences to our community. And so that's her role. She's received some RFPs, which is a request for a proposal, and then expected to get more in the coming year. She's also been welcoming guests at the Marriott Sugar Land. Again, part of our tourism efforts is giving goodie bags and greeting people in our city and letting them know that while there's a lot to do in Town Square, there's a lot outside of Town Square. And so she's greeted people and made them feel welcome. There's actually a conference. I started out on the tourism side many moons ago. And it's Welcome Home Rio Grande Valley. And it's a group of retirees who go on a cruise every year out of Galveston. And they stop and stay in Sugar Land on their way before they go. So they've been coming for like 6 or 7 years. And Alyssa's actually working with them to try to get them to stay a little longer in Sugar Land, like tell them what they can do here for maybe a few days, extend their trip. But really welcoming to them and showing their appreciation that they've been continuing to come here year over year because they love it so much. So she's been really great at that. And then TDCAA, it's a County Attorney Association, had 300 attendees come, and then they'll be back again next year. So again, the goal of this is just that we bring outside people in to spend money in our community, generate that sales tax, so we can therefore put it back into our community and help our residents. For community development, John already went over the year 2 great homes. I won't touch on that, but year 3 applications are open. We actually sent a mailer to every single home in Sugar Land this year. So the phones have been very busy and John has been very busy, and Anna. So we're really excited to see what numbers that we will come up with this year. A lot of great projects coming in, so we're excited about that. And then the commercial revitalization grant program, which you guys approved previously, is now open. This picture is John and I went and actually presented at the Fort Bend Society of Commercial Real Estate Brokers about this program, kind of teasing it for them, so they could then go out to their clients and the people they know and try to get people excited and enticed to use it. So we've got a lot of great interest. We feel very strongly that we will have some really good applicants coming forward. We've had a lot of great conversations, so it's going to be a great program. And then down at the bottom, Anna Rodriguez spoke to the single family rental program open house about great homes, because great homes can also be done on rental homes, right? They're owned by somebody. So we want to encourage everybody to reinvest in their homes. And so we're making sure that we're getting that information out there and making sure that people know what's available and how to use it. And that's it. Thank you all for your patience today and your time.
Motion to adjourn. Second. Thank you.